Hello everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Redstone with the Loon. Today we will be showcasing making a tutorial and explaining the redstone behind the instant hitting crafting bench. So let's take a look at exactly what this thing does. So all we have to do is hit this button and watch this block magically transform into a crafting bench. Now I said instant, and believe me, when I say something, I mean it. So this crafting bench instantly now will turn back into an iron block, and we hit the button again. We can keep doing this over and over, as much as we want. However, for something you'd think would be really simple, it's actually extremely complicated. So much so that I could only get it down to 11 meters by 8 meters by 3 meters, and I couldn't get it more compact. But I'm sure it can be, so I issue a challenge to you, the Redstone community, to make this even more compact. But for now, let's get on with this tutorial. You'll want to start off with an 11 by 3 area, just like this, and you want to keep in mind that your floor is going to be 4 blocks up from here, and the wall is going to be 3 blocks in, so 1, 2, 3, and then it would be right up here. To get things started, we're going to go right here on the back, and we're going to place 2 blocks out like this, with our input block just like this, with the redstone dust on top. Next we're going to place a solid block down here with a repeater set to 1 tick, and then we're going to place up a block like this with another redstone dust on top. Then we're going to go over here and we're going to place an upside down half slab just like this, and then blocks all around like that. And then we're going to come down here, place another slab, and then place another solid block, and then place a torch on the side of that. Next, we're going to place in a couple pistons. You want to place one right here next to this torch, and then another one right underneath that. And then we're going to place 2 solid blocks up just like this. Next thing we're going to want to do is place slabs here, and then a solid block right down here. And then place another half slab there, and then a solid block here, and then another solid block here. And then we're going to want to get another solid block there. And we're going to want to place a block here with another redstone torch on it. And then we can place redstone here and all the way up and around on everything we just placed. And then we can come down here, place a block just like that, and then place a repeater on 1 tick, and then place a block up, and then place some more redstone dust. Next, you're going to want to come around in here and place a sticky piston here and here, facing towards your wall. Next up, you're going to want to take a block out like this, and then a block down just like so, with a block up right here, and then place a repeater there, and redstone dust right here. Next you want to come down here, place another redstone dust, and then bring this down just like this, and then place redstone dust right here. Next you're going to want to place some redstone dust just like this, and then you're going to want a half slab right there, and a half slab right here. And then you're going to want to place redstone on top of these half slabs, and then place a sticky piston here with a redstone block, which I don't have on me, right here, and then a sticky piston with another block here. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a sticky piston and place it right next to the block that you just placed, and then place a block on its face. Next we can get a comparator right down here with a furnace next to it, and put 2 non-stackable items in the furnace so that we get a strong output from our comparator. Then you're going to want to come right here near this redstone block, place a temporary block, and then place a dropper facing upward with a hopper on top. And then you can place a block next to this hopper, and then a block next to this block here, which is next to the piston we just placed, and then place a comparator just like that. And then you want to throw in something that you won't need into this dropper. Next up, we're going to want to take some blocks, place them just like this in a sort of diagonal pattern, break these blocks here, and then place a half slab just like this, and then put redstone down on everything we just placed. Next, we're going to be placing some pistons. So first we're going to want to place one facing upwards on top of this hopper, and then another one facing upwards right next to that. And then out from here, we're going to want to place yet another sticky piston with a redstone block, just like so. And then another piston on top of this redstone block facing in the other direction, and then a block on top of that. Okay guys, we're just about done. All we have to do now is place our crafting table, place some sort of input so that it powers our redstone dust here, or our lime green wool right here as our input, And now it's done. You can press the button and see the magic happen. Now there is a couple more things I need to say before we start explaining. First of all, when you give it an input, you cannot give it a 1-tick pulse. It has to be at least 2-tick pulse or 2-tick repeater length. And the second thing is you can only press until you hear all the pistons have stopped moving. So we press this button here, and you can see there's some pistons that pulse right after we have finished with this button. You have to wait for that to stop before you can hit the button again. But other than that, I say we move on to our next segment where I explain exactly what's going on here. In order to understand what's going on here, you have to understand the concept of a 0-tick pulse. Now, as you know, if you give a piston a 1-tick pulse, it'll leave the block behind, just like this. But if you give it a pulse fast enough, it'll actually move the block instantly, rather than having this 1.5-tick wait. So, this is a 0-tick pulse monostable circuit. Essentially what's going to happen is we're going to flick this lever, the power's going to come up here, power this block, power this piston, but at the same time this piston's going to start extending, instantly turning this block into block 36, also known as a block that won't give off power, instantly retracting this piston, which means this is no longer getting powered, so it instantly extends and retracts at the same time. So we can place a block here, you can see this going on here. Now what we've done in our mechanism here is we're utilizing 0-tick pulses, and we're even influencing the order in which they pulse. So what's first going to happen is we're going to come right over here to our input. When we press our button, it powers this redstone dust, which powers this repeater, which powers this redstone dust, which in turn powers this block, which is next to this piston. The signal then travels all the way over to here at the same time and shuts off this torch. So the torch is shutting off and the repeater is turning on at the exact same time, which 0-ticks this piston, and then the pulse also comes all the way around here to this repeater, to this torch, that powers this block, which powers this, which instantly depowers this and powers this. So pretty much we're 0-ticking these two pistons, and what that's going to do is it's going to take the crafting bench and move it over here, because it works like a T flip-flop, and then move this iron block over to there. Next, the signal travels down here with a 1-tick delay, so that we match this here. And that's going to come down to this instant monostable circuit. This monostable circuit has a 1-tick delay. And all this is going to do is it's going to 0-tick this piston here in front of this comparator. Now you could be saying, well, why don't you just take this pulse directly down here? Well, that's because these pistons would actually extend first, and we need them to extend second. So by adding this, we actually influence the delay, even though it's still instant. So anyway, this piston will get 0-ticked by this monostable here, and then leave its block behind, so the comparator can send through power up to this monostable, which will 0-tick the piston underneath this iron block, moving it up, all within the same tick. As well, this piston will become updated, so it will extend, because our input block will be quasi-powering it, so it'll extend, grab the crafting bench and move it down here, and then when you hit the button again, these two pistons get 0-ticked, making it like this. It comes down here, and then it comes back here, and then it'll extend this all in the same tick, moving this block down as it does so. So if you're still here, I thank you so much for watching, and I would encourage you to leave a rating. Likes and dislikes are appreciated. They tell me what I need to do and if I'm doing well, and please leave a comment and specifically tell me exactly what I need to do. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.